taxi cab driver asked me the morning of the Derby as we were going to the racetrack. He said, "How much do you get if you win the Derby?" And I kind of smiled to myself, and I said, "I have no idea." I had no idea what the winning jock amount was.
For the record, it is something like $66,000. But down the road, if this horse wins the Triple Crown, it could be your percentage of $6 million. You feel the pressure, the history on your shoulders?
Well, I feel like we've got most of the pressure out of the way. Wayne Lukas was under fire. He's been under fire for the last 4 years over the Kentucky Derby. He proved that he is the greatest trainer in the world, that he can get the job done. He got the Derby out of the way. I got the Derby out of the way. The fillies got it out of the way. And I think we just got to take it a race at a time right now. But I feel very comfortable with our situation, and I wouldn't trade places with anybody, that's for sure.
Woody Stevens certainly would. There were some people who felt that he was sour grapes even before the race began. Of course, he's a three-time Derby champion, trainer. He has congratulated officially Wayne Lukas for winning the race, but some people say he's just a sore loser. In fact, they're saying that, well, he didn't have the right strategy, that his horse, 49er, will push the filly coming up in the Preakness. What are your thoughts, and why he would have, if it's unspoken, a rivalry with Wayne Lukas?
Well, I don't know if it's so much a rivalry or what it is. I have a lot of respect for Woody Stevens. I don't know him personally. I've never ridden for the man. But I do know he's one of the greatest horsemen of all time. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's been nothing but good for the horse racing business.
But he seems to have a problem with California racing.
Well, he stated that he doesn't want to bring horses to California and race them. Over the last 3 years, he wouldn't bring 49er out for the Breeders' Cup here last year when he was two-year-old champion. Why that is, I don't know. He's very happy where he's staying in New York, I guess, but I think it would be good for all of horse racing when these horses get together for these kind of races. And as far as the jealousy goes or whatever it is with Wayne Lukas, Woody Stevens towards Wayne Lukas, I don't know if that's really true or if all week long Wayne has said Woody likes to talk, and that's all he'll say. So that's all I'm going to say is Woody likes to talk.
Part of his talk, though, is that he's going to take the 49er out from the start, unlike he did at the Derby, press the filly, and as he put it, if I finish last, the filly will finish second to last, or something to that effect. In other words, he's going to take the filly with him. You know, whatever he tries to do, try to press that horse to the top.
Well, all I can say to that is if he stays right with me, I don't know where he's going to finish. It may be last, but I can guarantee that I won't be next to last. This filly, I've never been told to put her on the lead. I don't expect to be told to put her on the lead again.
She just takes it on her own, right?
I'm going to let her run the same kind of pace. She settles herself. She rates herself. I'm going to let her do the same thing as I have in all of her races. There's no need to change it now. If somebody's in front of her, my feeling is they're going too fast, and they're not going to finish up.
This is, by the way, the Santa Anita Oaks, which was a turning point race for this horse, for Winning Colors.
Yeah, it was. That's Goodbye Halo running second there with Jeannie Jones running third. Goodbye Halo had beat her in a previous race, and we came back and just galloped pretty much in this race. She won very easily, and we kind of solidified our feelings for this filly when Goodbye Halo did what she did to the field on Kentucky Oaks Day. She won the Kentucky Oaks, and Jeannie Jones was third.
Was this horse tired, though, at the end of the Derby?
I went back and watched this race several times that you just saw, and I watched the Santa Anita Derby several times. And at first I stated that I felt she might have been getting a little bit tired, but yet after the finish line, 49er never did get in front of me. And you can't really use that as evidence that she wasn't getting tired or 49er was never going to get by her, because nobody's going to believe it if I was to tell you that that's the way it was. That's my feeling. But after watching these races, she won those races very easily, the Santa Anita Oaks and the Derby, and she won them by margins of 7.5 and 8 lengths. And I was easing up on her the last 50 yards. We had Kentucky Derby in our mind. We wanted a fresh horse going into the Kentucky Derby, and there was no sense abusing her, so I didn't. And now that I go back and watch these other races, I get the feeling that at the 16th pole in the Kentucky Derby, she had a pretty nice lead, more or less like she did in the Santa Anita Derby, and she might have been easing herself up again. And when 49er got to her, I could actually feel her drop down and accelerate again. And I just got the feeling that he never was going to get by me.
Toughest race behind you now, even though it's part of the Triple Crown. Once you get the Derby off your back, you can relax, and the distance is also in your favor too, with the 16th few, less.
I don't feel so much that we can relax now. This
But the pressure is off.
Well, the pressure's off, sure it is. But in the last week, it's been building up again with what Woody Stevens has been saying about 49er, and I feel confident in my mind that whatever happens in the race, I'm going to be in front at the finish line, whether I come from 5th or 6th place or if I'm on the lead and go wire to wire. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm riding the best filly, and I don't think she can get beat.
You like this horse's temperament. Unlike a lot of fillies are intimidated by the male horses, colts, this filly even took a little snap at one of the other horses in the gate at Kentucky Derby, right?
Yeah, that's right. We were sitting in the starting gate. They just loaded her. They loaded the horse on the outside of her. And the assistant starter had a hold of this filly's head to keep her straight, and she's trying to jerk her head out of his hand to get at the horse next to her so she can take a little bite out of his neck. So she's definitely not intimidated by other colts.
You're still a young guy, 25, 26 years old, racing since you were 18, and yet you talk about getting out by the time you're 30. You don't want to race forever like Bill Shoemaker or Longden or some of the others. Why?
Well, racing's fun to me right now. I love what I'm doing. I'm enjoying it, and it hasn't turned into work for me. I put in a lot of hours. I'm up every morning, going to the racetrack, working horses, and I know eventually it'll probably get to me. And when it does, that's time for me to quit. When it turns into work, I'll quit.
Just to give you an idea how much he loves racing and he loves the competition, before the Kentucky Derby, he ran another race at Churchill Downs. In fact, will often run maybe 3, 4 races on Derby day. And the next day caught a 4 a.m. flight back to Los Angeles after winning the Kentucky Derby to race at Hollywood Park. Very dedicated jockey and a very successful jockey. Gary Stevens, the top-rated jockey in America right now. We wish you the very best of luck at Pimlico coming up the second leg of horse racing's Triple Crown.
Thank you very much.